For years, we've talked about Miraculous, tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir's wasted potential, and the poor execution of ideas from Miraculous HQ. We've complained about the power imbalance, the dragging of the love square, and the seemingly never arriving reveal. However, coming into season 6, there is a new energy. The new narrative arc came with new villains, new animation, and a relationship that, on paper, seems like perfection. Like what we've been working towards for 10 years. As I made my way through the first 16 episodes of the season, it was like being hit with a breath of fresh air. But as I continued watching, it seems as though nobody is really actually winning. Not our heroes, not our villains, not even the characters themselves in their day-to-day lives. But in the same sentence, nobody is losing either. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Nomonde here and I am back again in the flesh for the first time on this channel. I won't lie to you, it has been a big and busy past year. But before I get into all of that, I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you guys that watched, liked, commented, and even shared my previous video. At the risk of sounding super cliche, I am thankful and so grateful to each and every one of you guys for the support. But yeah, I did not expect the video to blow up the way it did. And I promise I was trying to create more content to keep y'all fed. But as I said, it was a very big and busy 2025 as I was trying to complete my final year of high school. So naturally, I didn't want to burn myself out, and obviously academics were going to be the biggest focus of my year. But I am done and I am back here with another video, and obviously I could not leave y'all without my thoughts of season 6 after I had very strong thoughts about season 5. Starting with one of the major things the writers just refused to let die, and that's the love square. Another thing I want to touch on in the spirit of poor execution, but when it comes to Miraculous Ladybug, that is a huge problem. But I feel like those episodes were just an excuse to keep dragging the reveal and milking it for all it was worth. And most infuriatingly, at the end of season 5. Guys, it is no secret, I did not like the season 5 finale. But yeah, as I was saying, my return was inevitable given how much of a train smash the season 5 finale was and how much season 6 is trying and perhaps succeeding at cleaning up the mess that was the season 5 finale. If you watched my last deep dive, you will know exactly how I feel about where we left off. After exactly 8 years of build-up, the season 5 finale didn't just feel cheap, it felt like a beautiful slap in the face. Coming into season 6, I was a little bit skeptical, but nevertheless, I pushed through, and I am so glad that I did. Season 6 is not perfect now, by any means, and we will unpack that. However, some of the differences set it completely apart and make it different from its predecessor in almost all the right ways. Starting with the most glaringly obvious change, and that is the animation. The shift took some getting used to, but officially, it felt like the old way of doing things, the Gabriel era, was officially over. I've been very vocal about how Miraculous tends to tell us things rather than showing them. But for the first time in a long time, the animation is actually doing the heavy lifting. This new shift isn't just about the hair looking better or making the environment appear more eco-friendly. Whilst that's all true, I'm more focused on the emotion you can now see more clearly in the characters' faces. In the new episodes, you can actually see the weight of the lies Marinette is carrying. When she looks at Adrien, it's not just with love. At certain points, especially in Mr. Agreste and in El Toro de Piedra, you can see that there is a flicker of guilt in her eyes as well. It really makes the interactions feel more real. And aside from Marinette, even with other characters, other emotions such as anxiety and determination feel more real, more natural, and more pronounced as well. In the episode Sublimation, I noticed there the most that the extras and background characters are more engaging and are actually participating with the environment, which is just an important and beautiful attention to detail. But as much as the look has changed, some things not so much. Most notably is the whole logic surrounding Adrien. Mainly because the show is still walking the line of trying to give Adrien his freedom and still keeping him trapped in the same box that he has been in since season 1. After everything Adrien has been through in the first 5 seasons, you'd think that with the end of the Gabriel Agreste story arc and ultimately his presence in Adrien's life, that Adrien would finally take the wheel and essentially drive his own life now. And in the first episode of the season, it did feel like that was exactly the plan. In Climatic Queen, naturally, Adrien is trying to come to terms with his new reality and tries to find a new passion after he stopped having his father control his schedule and every move. The episode laid the foundation of what we can expect from Adrien in the future. We're about to learn who Adrien is when he isn't chasing approval and managing expectations. It's a fresh perspective on a well-known character that is and was well overdue. We ended the episode with him taking up running, a beautiful way to show that he is owning his own physical space and is now in charge of his own pace. He is no longer performing for an audience, but rather reintegrating himself into society with people and an activity that doesn't demand a specific version of him. He is the one setting the pace, and I found that beautifully and well written. But then we got to episode 5, Werepapas, and that momentum we had stalled. There is this huge conflict with Adrien's grandparents fighting for his future, and instead of standing up to claim his independence and decide where he would want to stay, he just sat there. Instead of him leading that conversation, he's back in that familiar position of being the person things happen to rather than the one making them happen. I love that Marinette is his biggest advocate. It really shows how much she's grown into her confidence. But it's coming at Adrien's expense. By having her stand up for him instead of standing behind him, the show is regressing back into that same power imbalance I mentioned in my previous video. When Marinette steps in to resolve the situation for him, it's coming from a place of pure love, but it effectively keeps Adrien in a protected state. It's not about Marinette being controlling, it's rather about the show's writing still struggling to let Adrien and allow him to be his own hero and his own advocate. If he is ever going to fully heal from the Agreste legacy, he needs to be the one to stand his ground, even when it's uncomfortable. As the co-protagonist, Adrien shouldn't be a trophy for Marinette or really anybody to protect. In Mr. Agreste, he does show some initiative by refusing the building of the Gabe statue and speaks his mind by telling the akumatized villain everything he should have said to his father. But for the whole show, everything has been happening around him and to him rather than him having any agency of his own. And I really hoped, after what we saw in Climatic Queen, that this season he would be the one pushing his own narrative rather than just reacting to it. Right now, it feels as though Marinette is so busy being his shield that the writers have forgotten to give Adrien his own clear voice during these high-stakes family moments. And this protective instinct doesn't just end with Adrien, it's actually bleeding into every significant part of Marinette's life this season. It's becoming the defining trait in her character. While this protectiveness might be stunting Adrien's growth, it's simultaneously transforming Marinette into the most intentional, high-level leader we've seen her be on this show, and shaping her identity and role as the Guardian this season. Whilst not for the first time, Marinette isn't just reacting to the chaos around her, she's being more intentional with her leadership. She's shifting from being a one-woman army to delegating and trusting others to handle stuff for her. We see this the most in her dynamic with Alya. In episode 2, Illustrator, by officially naming her as deputy, Marinette is creating a contingency plan. She is finally realizing that being a leader doesn't mean having to carry the burden alone. We see her taking a proactive role in episode 11, Revelator, in training the Miraculous and coaching them to resist powering down and push their limits. She is no longer just handing out jewelry. She's being smart by spreading out the Miraculous risk and delegating. She's letting the team handle petty crimes and everyday accidents and allowing her to clear her own schedule and actually enjoy her own personal life. This is a massive milestone. She is learning that a good leader knows when to step back and let others carry the weight. I feel like she is known for quite a while that she can't protect everyone and control everything, and right now, she stopped trying to. She's effectively protecting her own space and allowing herself to be happy and to be a real teenage girl instead of being the pillar for the entirety of Paris to lean on. But that's the complication with the protective instinct this strong. While she's using it to protect her team's efficiency, the rest of Paris, and her own happiness, she's also using it to protect a lie. The more she clears to make room for her life with Adrien, the more obvious it becomes that the most important thing in Adrien's life right now, which is bridging the gap between the man that he knew and the father that the whole world has come to admire. In Marinette's misguided attempt to protect him from the inevitable pain and grief he will feel, the truth about his father is the one thing that she is determined to keep shielded from him forever. And this brings us to the core of season 6 and this video, what I like to call the library of secrets and distorted wins. If you hadn't noticed, the stakes in Miraculous have fundamentally shifted. This isn't just an action-adventure villain of the week show anymore. We are now in a position in which the concept of winning has become completely distorted. On the one side, you have Marinette. She's won the boy and the battle against Monarch, but there is an air of secrecy surrounding it all. By hiding Gabriel's true identity, she's creating a version of reality that doesn't exist, by participating in the creation of a fake hero rather than merely hiding the true nature of Paris's villain. In season 6, every akumatized villain is defeated, so she is winning the day, but she's losing or lacking the foundation of honesty that her relationship with Adrien really needs. He doesn't know it, but she does. But ultimately, the most important person in this distorted wins dynamic is our newest and most cunning villain, Lila Rossi, or more importantly, Chrysalis, the newest holder of the butterfly Miraculous, the ultimate librarian of secrets. Gabriel wanted the Miraculous. Lila wants the Miraculous too, but also data. Throughout the season, there are shots where Lila is in the basement surrounded by mountains of notebooks. This isn't just for the giggles. It represents a serious shift in villain logic. It is no secret that Lila can be very calculated and manipulative, but this is highlighted even more now that she's the holder of the Butterfly Miraculous and our main villain of season 6. When Lila akumatizes villains, she doesn't just target people at their lowest. She also only attaches her price when they are at their highest. When she approaches the villains, she does it in a way that would make them more receptive to her manipulation. she meets her victims where they're at. An example I can think of from the top of my head would be showing up in Revelator's phone, a medium he's more familiar with. In almost all the episodes, she appears small and unassuming, giving the victims the perception of having control over the situation, even going as far as to give them a choice into what they get to call themselves when they're in their villain form. However, what really struck my interest was how in episode 7, El Toro de Piedra, Ivan's dad dismisses her when she approaches the situation like this, so she adjusts her appearance, coming off as larger and more authoritative, matching El Toro's energy, and in a twisted way, allowing him to see her as an equal and actually hear her out. She really makes the people she's akumatizing believe that she is only there to help. Then once Ladybug and Cat Noir show up, Lila then attaches her price, allowing the akumatized villain to see it as less of a trade-off with Chrysalis for the powers, but rather a way to get rid of the people, Ladybug and Cat Noir, that want to stop them from getting what they want. I have to admit, it is brilliant, and it really shows how much Chrysalis is better than Gabriel, Hawkmoth, Shadowmoth, whatever you want to call him. Lila's epilogues at the end of each episode makes every one of their victories feel like a distorted win. They defeat the villain, capture the Akuma, and the end credits roll. But Lila walks away with a new page of information. She's mapping their weaknesses and their habits in hopes to uncover their secrets if she hasn't already. Our heroes are winning the battle, but Lila is gearing up to sweep up the ultimate win by simply knowing more than they do. To further this idea, it is seen how much Lila truly appreciates the value of information this season. Miss Bustier confirms to the heroes in Illustrator, but we've seen it ourselves, how Lila uses different voices and blends them into one to further conceal her identity. She makes a point to verbally affirm at the end of each episode how much she's determined to make sure that Ladybug doesn't find out anything about her or the people she's working with. Lila truly knows that even the smallest bit of information would lead Ladybug closer to finding her. And speaking of the secret society, it is insane because it just adds an entirely new layer of secrecy and mystery to an already cryptic villain storyline. Season 6 is showing us that a win isn't really a win if your enemy is walking away with a piece of information that you wouldn't want them to know. As shown in Vampigami, Lila is hot on Marinette's heels and is very close to confirming her identity as Ladybug and potentially confirming Cat Noir's too if she hasn't already. With Marinette keeping the biggest secret of all, Lila doesn't even need her superpowers to destroy everything. She just needs to play the right cards at the right time, and in the library of secrets that is season 6, it is simply the truth that could blow everything up. When you look at everything we've broken down today, from the visual reset and Adrien's agency gap, to Marinette's intentional leadership and the secrecy and twisted successes, it is clear that Miraculous has fundamentally changed. The battlefield isn't just in the streets of Paris, it's in the characters' minds and the information they carry. The consequences feel real and heavy, and the eventual blowout will be a big mess that a lucky charm just can't fix. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think the rest of season 6 has in store for us. I would love to see your thoughts, theories, and predictions, so leave them in the comment section down below. If you're new here, be sure to turn on those post notifications so that you do not miss out when I upload the next video. I promise It will be soon. Thank you so much once again for watching and for sticking with me through my 2025 break and into this new year. I am so excited to show you guys what I have planned, and I hope you stick around for the ride. But for now, that's it from me, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Andy